I'm ready to dive in. Boy, you're cute. Love the way you talk and how you move. If you keep this up, there's nothing left to do. When you love me just like that, baby, there's no going back. When I tell my mama about you, there's no going back. When I tell my mama, there's no going back. When I tell my mama, there's no going back. When I tell my mama, ooh, when I tell my mama about you.
Hey, welcome everybody to another episode live of my podcast, Kojay's Corner. That's me. This is my spot where you hear my thoughts, my opinions, everything uncensored and sincere. On top of that, Palestina Libre. I was this close to canceling. We got news today that people were bombed and about 100 to 120 men, women, and children were killed in the recent bombings that happened about 40 minutes ago. The report did come out. So we'll dive into that later on. My prayers are going out for them. So we already have people here ready to go. My boy, South Cali guy. What's good, man? Glad to see you here. We also got from the Bat Channel streams, Sergeant Giratina's Rising Renegades. What's up? I saw you there before, and you hung out with us for a bit. So good to see you here. Hey, doing good. Lucky for you, Kojay. We're here for you. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, we are going to go into that incident because usually I start off with heavy topics, but I just don't have the heart right now, and I get a little emotional a lot. So I want to save that for later. But we are going to get into talking about Rebel Moon, because that surprisingly connects to what I like to talk about a lot on my channel. But yeah, we're going to do it different. We're going to go into the entertainment stuff. And just so you know, the first clip I showed earlier on, with no copyright infringement planned or intended, and I'm not making money off of this, but that's a clip from the new song from one of my favorite K-pop groups of all time, Card. Their new EP or comeback or mini album drops, I think, on the 13th. So in a couple days, and it looks like and it sounds like they're doing good. Or it's going to be good. So I just want to drop that last minute to start off the show with something nice. But yeah, as I get the graphics going, I hope you all doing well. We're going to chill here. Hold on a bit. I'm trying to get fancy here. Let's put in some background music, because I want to be chill tonight. It's Friday night. Hope you all doing well. And hope you don't mind to do vape a bit. Trying to kick the habit, but it's harmless so far. So we're just gonna chill right here, talk about some Rebel Moon, because man, what a movie. Zack Snyder does it again after he did it before. But first off, I want to talk about some things I do not like about the Rebel Moon experience, and it's not Zack Snyder's fault. Yes. By the way, I did get to see our boy again, South Cali guy. It's good running into you, dog. Twice. That's cool. You know, we gotta find some time to hang out, you know, because you're South Cali, I'm South Cali. You know, what are we doing? Life is busy, though. So, yep. Oh, he agrees? Yep, Zach's a genius. Awesome. Good to know. Good to know. Let me get my graphic up here, because I'd like to be a little fancy and snazzy here. Snazzy, is that a good word? Probably not. Bam! Rebel Moon. I thought that was gonna be a lot stronger, not like, you know, it looks like it's rust. But hey, that's the graphic I got. Yeah, Rebel Moon. Wow. So Netflix, I think, kind of screwed up with releasing the theatrical versions first. I think that they should never have been. It's weird. Netflix giving that 2-hour film mandate when we know people love to binge watch the shows. And Netflix also drops a lot of Bollywood films. And you know your boy, well, not just Bollywood films. I see Tollywood and Collywood on Netflix as well. Even some Collywood and Tollywood dubbed in Hindi. So, you know, for the Bollywood audience. And those films run on average about 3 hours with intermission. I have to have that 2-hour mandate. But hey, I get it. Okay, fine. They wanted to shoot for that. It's a brand new universe, brand new comics series. So RR, that's a Collywood film. It's Tamil. So when Bollywood films are in Tamil, it's Collywood. It's the Tamil industry. When it's in Telugu, that's Tollywood, the Telugu industry. And if it's in Hindi, it's Bollywood. Now, they all have the same template with song and dance sequences inserted in their movies. But yes, my boy loves RRR. It is a damn good film. So shout out to that. But yes, again, an epic, long film. And that's on Netflix. So why can't you release the director's cuts first? Maybe it's because of the rating. Maybe it's because of the content. I can understand that. Let's see what our homie says here. Yeah, Netflix show just released part 1 and 2 in their true forms on the days they released their theatrical versions. I agree. That'd be cool. Well, we'll make it happen, man. So the thing is, all right, let's agree with Netflix. Like, for some reason, they had to do what they had to do, which they did what they did. And releasing the theatrical ones. When did they release the theatrical ones? Was it early this year? I forget. It's been so long. But anyways, they did release it a while ago. And then they said that they would release the director's cuts in the summer. Now, this is weird because the first time I heard about Rebel Moon, Snyder said these are coming out as the Snyder cuts of Rebel Moon, meaning the director's cut, unaltered. But then we got this theatrical version, PG-13 edition, which is just like BVS. BVS was PG-13. Then the director's cut was rated R. Yes, December. Thank you. My guys, thank you. Yeah, they released them in parts. So I think they were trying to milk it, promote it, whatever. You know, they did what they gotta do. So I think the other big problem that they did with Rebel Moon was release it so late. I think July would have been fine. I think May would have been fine. Because December, January, February, March, April, 4-month gap between 1 and 2. Hey, my boy Hitomi. What is up, man? We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff, Hitomi. I wouldn't mind if you jump on. After I get my spiel out, I'll let you join if you want to. Hitomi is a tag partner of mine in all this stuff. But anyways, because not only did they release the director's cuts so late, they released them during Olympic season. Now, you know your boy loves some pro wrestling. So AEW, WWE, Impact, Ring of Honor, even in Japan, I don't think a lot of people are tuning into a lot of things because a lot of people are tuning into the Olympics instead. So numbers are going to be weird. And releasing such director's cuts that require you to just enjoy, that's going to cut you out a lot of gymnastics and diving and whatever the heck you watch. Let's see what Hitomi says. Netflix wanted the PG-13 cuts, not the R-rated cuts, which is what their contract with Snyder was like. Quote, if you make these PG-13 versions, you can have your own cut. Thank you for the information. I was not aware of that. But I was thinking about that because the PG-13 cuts were completely different movie experiences, and they were not so gratuitous, vulgar, gory. The language, it wasn't in your face as much. So I could see how they're totally different films. But the problem is, cutting it down, I think the PG-13 cuts could have used at least 10 more minutes of character development, because there were a lot of problems I saw with, especially part one. I felt it was rushed, going from point A to point B to each hero, each warrior that they were looking for, and things felt super convenient just to find them. And I felt if you added the extra 10 minutes to Rebel Moon Part 1 just to fill in finding those characters, I think it would have felt more less rushed and more time to breathe. That was my biggest gripe. And I was wondering, dang, did Snyder not even care? Did he not even film those scenes or write them or shoot them? Because if he oversaw the cuts, I thought that was odd that he would leave that out. Then lo and behold, I see the director's cut, and all the things I wanted to see and more is there. Once again, Snyder delivers. Me oh my. The PG-13 cuts are more accessible and easier for a wider audience to digest, which is what Netflix prioritizes. You know, I think you're right. Now, here's my question to y'all, and what I'm wondering. Do they do that to Snyder because it's a brand new thing that they're doing? Because of his reputation? Or is this something that they do across the board? Because I see some really graphic other things that make it. And I don't know. I'm still like 50-50 on understanding why they did what they had to do. I hear why they wanted it, and it still doesn't for the type of story that it is. I don't know if that's really the way to go. But hey, you know what? Maybe I am wrong. So my question is, were the PG-13 cuts successful enough to get that accessibility to a wide range of audience and viewers, or did it not really matter? Hey, thanks for being here. Have a good one. Stay away from the windbags. Let's see. It's merch. Look how merch they've made for Rebel Moon. There's an entire wiki page on it. PG-13 easier to sell merch for that in comparison to R-rated. You know what? Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's not the 80s anymore when you made action figures off of rated R movies. Oh man. Let's see. I mean, you don't see merch for The Irishman. Could you imagine a little action figure of The Irishman? That'd be funny. Yeah, but those are dramas. But I do get what you're saying. You don't see action figures of that dinosaur movie. What, 48 billion years ago or whatever? Was it 48 or 36? I forget. The dinosaur movie where whiny Kylo Ren went back in time and had to survive around dinosaurs. Cool concept. I'm down with that. Anyways, Rebel Moon. Oh gosh. I'm gonna bring it up so I can show screen captures and talk about it as we get through, because it's a lot to unpack, and I would like to break it down. In a very chill way. Let's see. Where's the pause button? Oh, this is part 2. Whoops. Let me get part 1 up. Man, such a gorgeous film. Let's see. All right, here we go. Let me get the format out with you. Yeah, I absolutely love the director's cuts. 65. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I got to see it on the big screen. I did not watch it the night before at all. I had work and I had to get ready for the day. and my boys were working night shifts, so it was really hard to get everyone together because all three of us were coming from different areas. But we made it. We were running late, and I was worried. I was very worried and kind of panicked. And one of my buddies was like, "Yeah, I need to run to my car." I was like, "Don't do it. Get to our seats first." It wasn't sold out though, which I'm sad because I'd like to see more success for this. But I was happy because we were a ticket short. We thought we had all three, but we only had two. So we were able to buy a ticket for the homie that didn't. Oh man, mashallah, it all worked out, right? So we got to our seats and I didn't miss it. I missed the beginning with Snyder. It's funny, me and my buddies were walking down. Now everyone's already sitting in their seats. And I see this row of empty seats. I was like, oh my gosh, let's sit there. I was like, hey guys, let's go over there. And some people are getting ready to move aside for it. Then I see they're all reserved. I was like, oh, that's Snyder's seat. Oops. Then we went off to the side and corner, which is crazy because I saw part 2 in theaters on the far left. Now I saw part 1 and 2 on the far right. It's crazy. But anyways, we got this down and see it. And let's get to sharing the screen. I'm only showing pauses. I'm not gonna show the movie. I'm not getting in trouble, you know what I mean? I ain't trying to do that. So here we go. No share audio. Boom. All right. Wait, is this how we get up? All right. So here we are. Oh, let me get this graphic off. Oh, good. It does go away. Nice. That is good Rebel Moon graphic. So, we are, dang it. Let me minimize for a second. Oh, that's a lot cleaner. We'll do it that way. Technology. So, we're already here at the beginning of Rebel Moon, and the opening is completely different, ladies and gentlemen. We open up with a battle scene on a planet where they're invading, they're carpet bombing, and we see this story with this family. Oh gosh. I don't know how this is gonna work. I'll just have the mouse here. So we have this story with the family that they're hunting down and pinning into a corner, but while they're doing that, they're already lining up the men and women as slaves, and they're branding them. But we just see the women, and they're taking off their clothes, and it's a very graphic. You see everything, except the little coochie area. That's one thing. With all the nudity in this film, they don't show down below. And I know definitely in Japan, but other Asian countries, they don't like seeing the pubic regions. So Snyder kept those completely out, but you saw everything else. It's very much like heavy metal, Frank Frazetta, Ralph Bakshi type of films, type of sci-fi, crazy, in your face, graphic, everything. So this is when, right now, at this scene, it's totally different, because in the beginning of the director's cut, the theatrical cut, man, this thing keeps popping up. That's annoying. The beginning of the theatrical cut, I believe we saw a brief intro, and then we went straight to the moon, ASAP. Now, this scene here where we see all this action and violence going on. We also see the branding. I gotta be careful. I don't want to show any nudity on my screen. We saw the branding of women. Now, I had to say, I looked over to my buddy. My buddy is there with me with protests for Palestine, and what the IOF is doing to innocent men, women, and children from Gaza and West Bank. Anyone they abduct, they've been sexually abusing them, taking off their clothes, and assassinating them execution style right then and there, or they take them to prisons and abuse them in all sorts of manners. I think children, about 69% of the children captured are sexually abused. Many of the men are sexually abused, and right now Israel is having a debate, and riots where people are fighting over the right to rape people who are not Jewish. And it is disgusting. And when I saw Snyder go through such levels here, it didn't shock me as much. It how do I say it? It's weird because such things, I was like, all right, I took it that Zack Snyder is being really real with this. And what I mean by being really real with this is because if you do not know, this stuff happens every day in Gaza, every day of that occupation going on. And the images we see in the beginning, with the beginning of Cora, when she was a girl and the soldiers were attacking her neighborhood, and you see her going to her home and family members are already dead and she's just walking around. They're not attacking her. And they're storming through other homes and just slaughtering people. I've been seeing that and reading reports on that daily for the last 300 plus days since this genocide has been going on. So all the stuff we see in the beginning of Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon is not far-fetched. The only far-fetched thing is the sci-fi. The brutality a military force will do on innocent civilians is totally not far-fetched, and that's probably the most realistic thing of this show, because I'm seeing that daily. And what I like about Rebel Moon is that it's showing that that is wrong. So if people can identify the slaughter that governments and their militias do on innocent civilians is wrong, then please spread more awareness by telling stories of this magnitude. People, I spend so much time on my platforms sharing what I love and what I care about. And what I care about right now is stopping the slaughter of innocent men, women, and children. Rebel Moon comes out at such a violent time going on in other parts of the world that we see the story and we're safe because this is a fictional world. This is in the future or another dimension, another galaxy where you don't have this programmed preconceived notions of other people. And to the point where you're either infuriated of what happens to a demographic of people, or you're numb and dumb to what happens to another demographic of people, and they're all equal because they're civilians. Now, when you see good guys and bad guys in a fictional world with a fictional setting, you can understand who's right and wrong. You can understand who's the bad guy and who's the good guy. Why? You understand by their actions, how they treat people, what they say, what they do. Now take that to what you learned here in Rebel Moon and apply it to real life. The power of powerful art can do that. And Zack Snyder is on next level shit. He's not just going crazy for the sake of it. I mean, I think a part of him is, because, we like intense, high stakes action and drama with our action films and adventure films, fantasy films, sci-fi films, war films. But the beautiful thing about that is that there's always a theme of right and wrong, good and evil, and the complications in between that we have to get through to be on the side of good or the side of evil. The dehumanization we see in Rebel Moon is what happens in real life. That's why the title of this is Rebel Moon and Rebel Earth. Look at today as Rebel Earth. We're going through so much narrative wars. We're witnessing, because we have this age of information, and there's a lot of misinformation out there too. I'm not going to deny. But there's all this stuff going on that reflects the lessons we learn from fiction that is drawn from reality to say, hey, this is wrong, then apply it. And I love that about directors like Zack Snyder, who provokes thought while he's entertaining the heck out of us. Let's see what else the fans are saying. Netflix wanted the PG-13 cuts, not the R-rated cuts. Oh, yeah. I think you already said that. Oh, I didn't scroll down. I did. Oh, here we go. The opening does so much setting up, shows how evil Noble is, how horrible the Imperium is, shows areas and how many of these soldiers were probably taken and forced to join their cause. Thank you. Because we've seen children be taken against their will for a cause of but they don't get joined into the IOF. They get abused, killed, and released far later on little to no charges at all, really. And the thing is, IOF is going through ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people in their homeland. And in this, the mother world that this military is from and fights for, what they're doing is they're recruiting a little bit, but they're slaughtering a lot of people. And Zack Snyder shows another reason why they do that, and it's for power, and it's also for fuel. It's crazy, but we'll get into that when we get up there. Thank you. Agreed. Aha. Yes. Much love. So this opening scene was nuts, and I like it because it also shows hold on, let me get rid of the share screen just in case I see something a little too graphic that gets me in trouble. Oh man, these shots are great. All right, I think I'm good to share this with y'all. This whole scene right here. Whoa. Never mind. That was a graphic scene. Woof. Close one there, Kojay. Oh my lord. All right. Now Zack Snyder brings in these cute little adorable creatures. Oh my gosh. Did you see the baby spiders? They were adorable too. So there's this whole huge story going on here. And we see that the introduction of a key character, not a main character, but he's a character that is so pivotal to the story. He's the defecting soldier. We understand more of his backstory and why he's more likely to feel empathy for the village that they're trying to protect. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm assuming you've already seen this movie. I'm not trying to bring it down. I'm just trying to compliment certain things that I think stood out with me. This is the opening scene I expected in the OG cuts. Yes, I did too. Again, character development things, but I think this one could have been okay out, but it didn't show how deep that character really was, with how he didn't even like the government that he was working for. Yeah, you saw that, right? Woo! Almost saw some movies on Kojay's corner. Yikes. Merchandising when he saw that little guy, right? I mean, yo. Oops, I pressed pause. I mean, look at this. It's clearly a pet that they love, and they know it has an ability. They also have it as self-defense, you know? But I have to say that I like that, again, in the smallest of stuff, Zack Snyder shows that there's compassion for life. There's the right here in the beginning, he's telling you, and this is a very DC Comics thing, really, is that they tell you in the beginning, traditionally, who the good guys are, who the bad guys are, who's going to fall in love with who. They always establish that early on, in like some early on interaction. And I like that little tradition. And Zack Snyder, to me, is a really good DC director. He's done like 4 DC movies, 5 comic book films. Is it 5 comic book films? Yeah, he's done 5 comic book films, right? 300. Anyways, so yeah, I like that he establishes early on who values life and who disregards life. And those are the 2 defining factors of good versus evil in this Rebel Moon universe. Who takes advantage of life, who preserves it, who wants to live and thrive and have families and, sleep with the one you love with. And who abuses that, who weaponizes living beings and slaughters them, and just expands empires. It's really, really setting the tone early on, and I like that, because then I feel like he's limitless on what he wants to say and tell. So this whole scene is powerful. Our villain telling our hero to do something horrible to save his mother and sisters, and then he goes around and kills them anyways. This is something we heard Zod say on our watch party for Rebel Moon 1 and 2. Shout out to Zod Rider. And it is very heavy. Very, very heavy. And then, not there. Then we have this little scene here where he's able to look at memories from the brain tissue. That was very, very interesting. Is there ability that he can do where he reads the things? You know, like in the Matrix, you know how some of the characters in the Matrix were able to read the coding, and they're to see, redhead, this is a steak, this is a basketball. You know, they could read that. So this is an interesting world where they also use a mixture of steampunk technology mixed with bioorganic technology, and that was really, really, really interesting. Yeah, that ability is awesome and unique, and it shows more of a perverse admiration of just disembodying people in a gross way. And people who enjoy genocide are probably into that crap. By the way, what's up, Kazakhs? Glad to see you here. Is he actually able to read the brain, or was he just doing it to fuck with them? No, I think he was, because as he was reading memories, it was affecting the wife. Like, she was breaking down. Like, she knew he was telling the truth. The fact that he was being compassionate after doing something heinous is a sign of a hypocrite and a liar. So they're really establishing early on how horrible this villain is, and to club people in the head till they're dead. It's barbaric, it's horrible, it's painful. And then we get to the collection of teeth to frame around a picture frame that they are worshiping of the fallen princess. Now, I still have to go back to this shot, because ever since not ever since, but one thing I really liked about this is that the color grading. He adjusted the color grading. I think he desaturated it a little bit more. So I'm really curious about watching this in black and white, because when directors do that, they do a little gunmetal type of strong contrast and desaturation. What they do that I like is that stuff, when you change the settings on your TV, right there, you could actually turn it into black and white. It looks really, really cool. So Zack Snyder's films are really good for that. And I love how you get to see something you don't see so often. Like, they're really close to the planet that this moon is orbiting around. And people are like, whoa, the planet's so huge. It's like, yo, do you realize how big certain planets are? And if our planet was close to another one, that was astronomically bigger than ours, which there are that exist, you would see stuff like that. Usually in sci-fi, they don't put planets this close, at least not the ones that I have seen, and I see quite a bit. Again, Snyder using that science knowledge of that brain he has to give us something spectacular. I mean, this is just really beautiful head on, coming off of something so horrible. And that's just one thing I want to give that's really, really beautiful about this series and show. Because this is, I think Rebel Moon could be something of his 5-part movie arc that he can actually get done. It's something that he always wanted to do. You know, Justice League 2 and 3, come on, man. You gotta get that shit going. But he's definitely putting in the groundwork to get more of this out there. So let's remove this. Let's see if there's anything else I want to convey over. All right. Here's a scene I wanted to talk about. Yes, it is Zack Snyder's Seven Samurai. To the T, where they gather warriors to defend the village, and they have the villagers get involved in their own self-defense. Seven Samurai right there. I could see how Snyder Cut was kind of a Seven Samurai, but Snyder Cut was more like an Excalibur story. And this is more of a Seven Samurai with a little... Okay, so I think Snyder Cut is a little bit of Seven Samurai, but more of an Excalibur type of Knights of Round Table type of story and Gathering of Heroes. And this one is a little bit of an Excalibur Gathering of Heroes, but with a lot of Seven Samurai. So that's how I see he really gets both of them down very, very well. So one thing here I want to add is this scene where she's I would call this homie her uncle, the guy who nursed her, and you know, he's kind of like a family figure to her. What's cool about what this guy represents is that family member that is above you, not like a sibling, you know, someone you respect, someone who will call you out on your shit and you will listen, but he does it in a compassionate way. And he's very encouraging because she's fighting her demons. She doesn't feel she's worth it. So I did speculate she did shag someone that is British for having sex with. She did shag someone at the family, not the family, but the village get together. They are like a family, right? Yes, there you go. Like a mentor. Definitely see Seven Samurai. So what's cool, interesting here is I want to talk about the sex scenes. The sex scenes to me were again, I think we've seen 4 sex scenes from Zack Snyder's films. 300, Watchmen, Rebel Moon, and Rebel Moon. So what's crazy about the sex scene is that to me it was like I got the feeling that these characters, you know, had sex before, but it looked like a quickie. Like even with Alvin and what's her name? I'm so bad with names, you guys know that. Anyways, in Watchmen, they also had a quickie. And then in this one, in part 2, she has a quickie. And I'm like, man, there's a lot of quickies in these movies. What I liked about Leonidas and Ergo, their I think it's Argo. Anyways, their sex scene was a montage, so I feel like they made love all night. They weren't just got the rock soft, God, just oh man, that was great. You know, I got a little bit of that. But what was interesting about, at first I was like, man, this sex scene is a little too long, too much for this. I felt it's too much for a quickie. However, in part 2, we're talking about part 2 and part 1. I'm going to go all over the place. But what was cool is that when she had the quickie with the guy that she loved, you saw in this sex scene that they actually had a better experience, in my opinion, from the first guy. So the first guy was the hunter that she had sex with. Yeah, we're talking about sex here. And that scene felt very like the two characters. At first I didn't like it, but when I saw the second sex scene, I appreciated the first one because they mirrored a progression of the character's character development through 2 sex scenes. How often do we see character development done through a sex scene? Zack Snyder is not just having these characters have sex just to, you know, get horny people and lonely people a little excitement. No, he's actually telling the story while he's probably doing that too. See, that's what I like about Zack Snyder. He's layered, you know. This is deep sex. It's not just sex. It's sex with meaning. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's break it down. So the first one with the hunter, it felt like they were teasing and they were really into each other. And they're like, yeah, let's have sex for the sake of having sex with someone hot. And that's cool. And he even struggled with the bra. He was doing it from behind. When in fact, we found the other guy figured out from the front because he's paying attention to her. And that's the difference with the hunter and her. He was already asleep. And then she was looking at him. And then she's like, all right, I'm going back to my, you know, spot. Then the sex with, it was Den, right? So when she's having sex with no, Gunner. Den is the hunter. Thank you. So when she's having sex with Gunner, Gunner actually, he doesn't get in there right away. And by the way, my show's not for kids, if you haven't noticed. he actually goes down, and it looks like he gave her some oral. Then he goes back up, and he's kissing all around her. He's like emotionally tasting every fiber and being of her. So, comparing the two quickies, because that shit was too fast. I was like, dang, you guys just have brief sex? Is that how you do it? So, the hunter, it was all about sex, but the second one, I would say it was sex making love. Now, a lot of people confuse sex with love. It's not. It's an activity, a tickling your pickle and your tingle jingle little down there, right? As we still saw with the first one. And the second one, I was like, oh, I appreciated it because I saw it was beautiful, because they were really getting close with one another. And when they were done, the dude was awake paying attention to her, you know? And or that was the next scene that we saw. And they were still kind of, in love, admiring each other, that they connected literally and emotionally. So I have to say, progression of story character development through sex scenes, I haven't seen that done in a back-to-back part 1, part 2 of a film or sequel before. This is kind of cool. It was really, really telling. And because at first I didn't like it. I was like, man, this is going too long. But then when you look at the two together, they really marry each other, and you see the progression of Cora. Because then you could see that it's not just sex to her. She actually is opening up to someone. She wants to be with someone. She wants to love them. And in fact, there's a scene when, you saw them, I forgot what the term is, but when they're both like this, it was similar to what we saw in Watchmen, but they were both equal up there. She was grinding him, he was grinding her. They were both like in sync, and that was very beautiful. And that's something I think I only know adults would enjoy, which again sets apart. This is not for your kids. Leave your kids at home. Leave your problems at home. This is time for the adults, and it was very, very beautifully done. Let's see what y'all saying. Oh, Integrity 101 is here. What's up, brother? Let's see. Yeah, the first one felt like she was taking one for the team. Like, why not? He's a hunter. He just kills someone. He's probably got a good spear. I don't know, whatever. So, South Cali guy says, Cora and Den's sex scene was more so about just sex. It was meant to be more of hit it and quit it, and no emotion, no intimacy. When Cora and Gunner have sex, it's passionate and warranted. My dude, you know. Yeah, I don't know, Hunter, right? What you say? Yep, thought so too. No kissing, let's get it done. This is very true, very true. And yeah, so that was some unique storytelling you can't do in PG-13, and a certain audience can maturely understand it. I was saying it, and you all saw it too and confirmed it too, so thank you for that. Let's skippity-doo-dah around the film, because much of the overall story context was the same. We got more of Jimmy, though. More Jimmy was great, because I was like, yo, how did Jimmy in the end of director's cut, the theatrical cut, when he saved the homegirl, he just ran off, and the next time we see him, he's got like a crown and everything. I was like, what the? How did you get that? What's cool is we see Jimmy is actually like a guardian angel, wondering what his programs is to get involved in the battle. And because it's very much like Astro Boy, where robots are programmed to not hurt human beings, or they have a specific directive to do a certain task, like protect someone. So they don't go beyond their programming. Yet we see emotions with Jimmy. He blushes when he has a feeling or emotion. The red just comes up, and he did something against his programming, which is very interesting, and it entertains the part of sentience being in technology, which is a very, very fascinating, deep-rooted sci-fi story that we're used to. Like, you go to Star Trek Next Generation, there's always this uh empathy towards Data? Is it because he looks so human? Is it because he can respond human like? Or and also Data also questions his own being of being alive. Also in I don't know if you remember Bruce Timm's CGI Green Lantern series. Aya, their AI who got a body, she was struggling with being alive and having emotions, and when she had emotions she cracked and turned into a crazy supervillain in season 2. But then they found that Aya, her sentience came from a living energy source from the lantern core energy itself, where they get their willpower from. So a small percentage of her is a living being. So I'm very interested in the mechanics of Jimmy, because we're seeing later on that other characters in the story have a sentience and a life to them. And is it in part 2? I gotta bounce between part 1 and part 2 here. Sorry, hold on. Part 1, 2. Here we go. So I want to go to this, since we're talking about living beings and sentience in this world. I want to talk about something interesting Snyder's doing with this. Here we go. Where is it? Machine here. Yo, someone brought up one of my people. All right. You know, C-3PO actor tried to convince Lucas to make the character a bit more of a hero, but Lucas never wanted to. Yeah. I can see that. Then Zach went ahead and made a badass C-3PO. Yeah, he did. He did. Well said. I'm actually not a fan of C-3PO. It's weird. But anyways, here we go. So we get to this being right here, who's voiced by the actress who is Lara L. Lara Jor-El in Man of Steel. That this character is actually a living being. I thought it was a robot from the first one, you know? Or from the theatrical version, it looked like just a robot, but we see that this is the engine that has them jump. They don't actually jump through hyperspace. They open up a portal in space that this creature can see, and then you pass through. And to energize her, she needs energy from freaking organs. Hold on. Body parts, not coal. That was freaking crazy. I want to see if there's a part where they're shoveling. I think it had to be when they jumped into their sector. Was it earlier on? No, that's him talking. No, still more talking. They're fighting here. All right, give me a second. Kojay second is very long. Anyways, hold on. I want the eyes on. There we go. All right. So the fact that here we go. That song and music that accompanies the scene where we see the Kali's is so haunting and beautiful. Yes, it is. That's actually the scene I was looking for. Yeah, the soundtrack is so fucking good. It is. So yeah, this scene right here, fantastically beautiful, because I did not know that that creature was alive, because the texture of the body looks so metal and mechanical. that I had no idea that it was a living sentient being. So if sentient beings like this exist, Jimmy, for the ability that Jimmy is able to function and have cognitive independent thought beyond not just being an AI, I'm wondering if there's an element of Jimmy that is alive. Now think about this. Because in this world, they're able to dissect and understand information from a brain, even looking at it without technology. And the fact that it's not coal that they were shoveling in to the spacecraft to make it work. It was human bodies and bones and remains that fuels this creature to fuel the ship. So the reason why they also slaughter so many people is because you're turning them into gasoline. Now we're going back to Palestine again. What are they after in Palestine? The precious land that they're in, Gaza. It has valuable gas, and up north you get the oil, and people are being slaughtered for that. In Rebel Moon, people are being slaughtered for fuel, resources, and power. Oh, this is crazy. This is what's going on in the world in a poetic, nightmarish fantasy for us to see how horrible it is. And that's how these powerful militia-driven governments function. Oh my gosh, Zack Snyder, this is crazy. Isn't it crazy that the director's cut is only 2 hours and 3 minutes? That trips me out. So yeah, it was amazing. I wish Snyder had the budget to show Venus versus Machines battles. I think that could be a great story on its own, like a standalone or prequel or spinoff. I'm glad that he didn't, because I feel when Zack Snyder shows us a clip of something that happened in the world of his imagination that happened before, it's more than just a scene. You know, there's a whole story behind it. And I appreciate that, because that's what I try to do with my stories that I'm working hard to show you guys. Please be patient, and I hope you enjoy when they do release. But also, my boy Haruko Hitomi, if you don't mind me shouting out to you. You also, from what you've shared with me, Hitomi, my boy Seiji, he has great storytelling narrative and a plethora, is that the word? A whole pantheon, whole bunch of characters, man. When people come up with characters, it's not wishy-washy. I've seen it when it is, and then you can tell they're just surface level. But when you put a lot of thought into each character, and there's a bunch of them, you know it's someone who really understands a world and a community, rather than just one character and build a whole bunch of characters around them. This day and age, with communication abilities, I think that's very ignorant, and that might be a little one-dimensional. Maybe for fairy, like children's books, like preschool. But we're adults now, and comic books and the audience is a lot more smarter. Let's go that direction where we're smarter. So another thing, we're gonna jump out of Rebel Moon for a bit. We'll be right back, because Rebel Moon reminded me so much of another sci-fi series called Lex. It was on Sci-Fi Channel, and what it was I think it was in late 90s, early 2000s. But Lex was 4 seasons. I think it was a Canadian production, low budget, super low budget, and the crappy graphics, but they did such an amazing thing. So Lex, what Lex is, LEXX, it was a gritty post-apocalyptic or steampunk type of crazy future that's very sexual, very graphic, and very brutal. It's along the lines of this, because also another film, like we said, one of the creators of Ninja Turtles, starring his wife Julie Strain at the time. It was really awesome. Now, what Lex was, in the Lex world, there's this conqueror, and he has his mother world planet that is in charge of the whole galaxy. Now, this is a separate dimension next to our dimension, so this is not even in our universe. And to It's actually in present time because they do come to our universe in season 4. But the thing is, in Lex, their mother world was called the Cluster, and they ruled the galaxy with an iron fist. But what they were doing is that they created so many harsh laws that if you broke a law, it would cost you maybe an eye, maybe a leg, maybe a kidney, maybe a lung, and maybe your left testicle. That's what kind of show this was. And they had slaves. They would take someone who they considered ugly, whatever, and they would genetically alter that person and brainwash their brain to be thirsty, to give sexual pleasure to their master. So they would do that as punishment to female and male people who looked like, I don't know, whatever criteria they did that. And why they needed to slaughter people is because they were building this huge spaceship called Lex, and it looked like a dragonfly. And Lex had the power to shoot one laser or one beam of energy at a planet and destroy it. And Lex, the spaceship, was also bioorganic and alive, meaning it had to eat. So when it destroyed a planet, it would eat the pieces of the planet. So in the story, the evil emperor, what the emperor wanted to do was live on forever, because to build all this took time. So what the emperor did, he copied his brain into another dead body of someone, and then the body of the brain of the main brain had to die, so they cut out the brain of the main one and they put it in this little machine to preserve the brain and put it in this little area where they have a council, and then the copy of the brain would be in the other one to conduct the laws and rules of that of the emperor, so he could continue living and through his brain waves of another body to continue his rule and domination. And at this time there was like a 13th one that had to be copied into the brain of a serial killer, but he broke free from some of the transitioning or whatever, and he fought a bit, so the transfer wasn't completely complete. And then that guy turned into a psycho version of the first emperor. And I bring that up because this show, and I'm going to show you clips of it because it's on YouTube. This show predates what Snyder's doing with Rebel Moon, which is a good thing, because what Snyder's doing is with a bigger budget, which isn't as big as most blockbuster movies get these days. He made it look like a ginormous, big budgeted thing. But you'll see the cruelty of this film as well, because they purposely wanted to cut and kill people and cut their organs and take them apart to feed their spaceship war machine. So what we're going to do, we're going to see this little scene where someone's being tortured and what happens to his body being fed into the machine. And yeah, so here we go. Let's see if I can share screen this. Let me see. There we go. There we go. So what's crazy about this scene, I just paused in a weird part. They have a pre-recorded judge, jury, and a sentencer. And it's just on, like a playlist. And they just go through whatever crime. So there's no even intimate thing. They're just putting people on the conveyor belt to try them, punish them, and then move on. And that is super, super dark. It was on TV, so it's not going to be super gross. Worship his shadow. See, that's the leader that they're doing. There's a gross Ziploc bag thing. There's the look at how many people they've killed, aliens and human beings. All of that. And that's being fed into the mouth of the spaceship right there. For energy. Fantastic show. It's a lot of dry humor, a lot of weird stuff. But it's pretty progressive going forward. A lot of dark humor too. And what's cool is that I see Zack Snyder did a lot of what they were doing. Now I'm bringing this up because Rebel Moon feels like something along this vein. Now I want to show you that scene where how they transfer the brain. Yeah. So this is a convicted killer. They need to use his brain because they just need a brain. And I think they needed a strong person. Again, notice how the people doing this procedure are like in holy religious garb, right? Much like the ones we see in Zack Snyder's one. Very low budget, but you know, I appreciate the creativity. You know? So this is how they transfer. Okay, their leader, they call him the Divine Shadow. Because in this world, and even in Zack Snyder's one, you have a short amount of time to use brain activity to do stuff. So that body is dead. They're doing the whole brain retrieval thing. Ew, they got the suction gooey sound. And then this is how that brain lives on. So they need to do that copy and then get it over to here. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, that's just, you know, probably, you know, meatloaf or something. And they put a little face on it. I forgot if there's any audio here. And then they put the garb on and record it and whatever. So the crazy thing is here, this character, this villain, hold on, I don't know if we could share the audio. Give me a second. Hey, what's up, Tim Stock?
Believe that time travels in a circle.
Hold up. This film was rubbish still. Really? I did not think so. All right, let me see. I need to make sure I do this right. Man, the bad channel. Oh, Tim Stock is not a fan. Crazy. I think I caught a little bit of your episode where you were not really keen on it. Oh, it did share the audio. Okay, good. So I want you to pay attention to this villain for this part right here. So that's the spaceship left.
They cannot
Yeah, we love you too, Tim Stock. You're free to not like and like what you want. It's all good.
General, do you believe
Arrest
that
him.
time unfolds in a straight line?
have observed that time is continuous.
Major, do you believe that time travels in a circle? That it is possible to see into the future by looking into the past?
I am not aware of any such divine teaching.
So you do not believe that it is possible?
No, Divine Shadow.
I am a more complex being than my divine predecessors. Unlike them, I do not believe time travels in a circle, and therefore I do not believe in prophecies.
Divine Shadow,
Yes.
how shall we deal with the heretics?
We shall ensure that they make their way to the special projects area uncontested. The time has come to prove that all prophecies are false, that no one can know the future.
Major,
Yes, Divine Shadow.
kill him.
Kill him?
Yes, kill him.
I worship his shadow.
Thank you. Now kill yourself.
Kill myself?
Yes. Now kill yourself. Shoot yourself.
I worship his Divine Shadow.
Shoot.
So yeah, Lex, crazy show. A little bit of the world. I wonder if they have a big shot of the whole world, what it looks like. Oh yeah, just a little bit of that show, and we'll get back. So this is what they're going for with the technology. As you can see, there's this rustic, gritty type of look here and everything. The CGI is dated. This is very old, but you can see what they're going for. There's a lot of brownness, a lot of rusted feelings. The music is fantastic, by the way. The soundtrack is great for the show. There's some coliseum where creatures fight monsters and people have to survive. Anyways, the show is pretty cool. Very gruesome too. So, when Zack Snyder made Rebel Moon and made this universe with the Mother World, I kept thinking of Lex and the Cluster, and using life to sustain a machine, using an imperial government and law to just be oppressive on the whole galaxy to get what you want with resources, to fine-tune control on any government that is not to your liking or control, and is completely obliterated. And at first, with the theatrical cut, I thought that was kind of reckless, just destroying everybody. But you do see that the destruction they're profiting off, because all the destroyed bodies, the bones, and everything is used as fuel and gasoline. And in this day and age, look at what we're doing. We're going to war over oil. We're still fighting over fossil fuels, and this is a conspiracy area territory, but there has been some inventors who found other sources of energy that's cheaper and more available, and those people either end up dead or missing. And I'll save that for another podcast series later. But the fact is that there's this violent grip on getting resources. Now let's look back to Man of Steel. In Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, they mentioned that Krypton exhausted all their resources. And in fact, at the first shot of Krypton, you see this city. And then when Jor-El goes beneath the city, you see underground is a huge, bigger city. So this society drilled and dug deep into their own planet to find resources and energy and building societies in it. And the show Krypton, which was originally conceived as a prequel to Man of Steel, still kept that story intact. So what you have is you have this planet that then turns into a skeleton, and because it's just kind of decaying and dying because you're just stripping it of its resources violently and at such an alarmed rate that towards the end of the movie you also saw a difference in how they went about what is it how they went about defeating the flagship, the King's Gaze. Let me see if I can go back to wherever that was. I like the music in the background for when I have these little downtime moments where I'm collecting my thoughts and trying to do stuff here. Part 1. You know, I am still shocked at how little of scenes we got Blood Axe. Was he so busy he had like just only like time for a cameo role? Oh, I am? Whoops. Hey, I am! Apologies, Netflix. It says, excuse me, you're watching it on more than one browser? My apologies. Yeah, they did a good of showing how sick Krypton was. Yes, sick. Like he's detained. Good job. Yeah, I got you. So, hold on. Man, that final scene was crazy. This final scene was really cool. It's very the Return Jedi because you got like ground force action and then you got action in the ship itself, which is pretty crazy and cool. All right, I just wanted to have a scene to share. Take audio off. All right, so yeah, this whole scene here where they're running out of... This is another thing that was super different from the theatrical version. In the theatrical version, the bomb exploded and it tipped the ship, you know, out of balance. And then they missed their shot. In this one, Cora attacked the bay and shot her buddy, friend actor, who also followed me on Twitter. Thank you. Dude was awesome. He was actually sitting in front of me next to Josh. Shout out to Josh. Dude is cool. So Cora actually went to the gunship and attacked it so they couldn't shoot, and she turned the gun to shoot on itself. That's freaking awesome. And it kind of made more of intensity of the stakes because it looked like the gunman was not gonna miss. Nothing was gonna make him miss that shot and, you know, kill the people. And as we saw earlier on in this part, they gave more story as to the guns shooting on a planet, and this is how they destroy planets. They flatten it, they carpet bomb the place, just like Israel's carpet bombing the civilians in Gaza. They just completely destroy it, and no one can live down there. It's so horrible and violent that these stakes are like really high up there. Like, these people are fighting for survival, and Cora is truly a hero. And it's not just her, it's everybody. We saw like way more fleshed out stories between all the characters. Whoa, that's a bad picture right there. There we go, that's a better one. You don't look like she took a woo. Anyways, Nemesis. I gotta say, I love what they did with my girl Nemesis. Bae Doona is one of my favorite South Korean actresses. She's fantastic. You're gonna see her in more shows and movies on my co-watch parties, by the way. So if you want to see more of her, you know, come by my channel and, you know, do the watch party with me and get to see it. If not, you can see the replay. But you will see more Bae Doona with my content and the stuff I cover. But she is a fantastic actress, and what's really cool is I have never seen her in such a role where she's so strong and powerful. Usually she's a supporting role as like she's a nurse or a mother, and There was one movie, The Host, which I still have to see that she's in. She might be a little bit more brave and action-packed there, but this is the one where she's capable. Like, she's worried. Like, you don't want to mess with her at all. And we got more of her story. And not just that. Here, I know what scene or clip I want to have up now for this one. And yeah, I'm just going through my favorite stuff about Rebel Moon, then I'll break it down what I think of the whole thing. That's part 2. Part 1. Here we go. Part 1. Okay. Now, you guys see me on the Bad channel. By the way, shout out to Trey and Super Corey. I love you guys. You guys like and subscribe to the Bad channel ASAP if you know what's good for you. Oh, the tentacle sex. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Pressing the second button. All right. I have to say, every time Zack Snyder has like a fade in or fade out between scenes or a reveal, there's always a sound effect. Watch this in all his movies, or watch out for it. Every time there's a reveal or some kind of scene change to another scene that progresses the story, you're always going to hear, or you can hear, a little sound that sounds like a breath or like an echo in an empty hallway, like, or, oh, sorry, not the burp. Sorry, it's too much of the fresca here. But I can't believe that I did that. All right, you'll hear like more of a, or something like that, or some kind of echo, like a boat, like how a boat creaks, but something more prettier than what I just did. You'll always see that, and he did a reveal of her, like they were looking for her on the planet. This is something I did not like in the theatrical PG-13 cut. In the PG-13 cut, when they say, hey, I think of another person, or Kai is trying to show him all these people, or guide him to all these people, Kai goes there. The iconic burp chants. Oh, you guys heard that, huh? This mic must be freaking good. Sorry. What the hell was I saying? Oh yeah. So you just saw them appear in an elevator, and she's already there. There was no. I was like, well, that was convenient. I hated that. That bothered the shit out of me. Sorry for Chris. But this one, we actually see them. They're looking for her. They're at a ramen shop, and you know, there's some weird guy Gunner doesn't want to eat, and then Tarek's like, "Oh, let me eat that." Little space sci-fi comedy right there, you know. And we see Nemesis Bayduna appear. We finally get her like a proper introduction, and this is the same with the General, which is good. Is that they take time to develop these characters and meet them and introduce them. And then another cool thing we saw with this story is that when she was fighting the spider, you know, the WB spider, Harmadra, she had these little, wrong one. Yeah. So when they had this battle, we saw that she was actually carrying the babies in her. And you know spider nests. If you don't know, I'm gonna let you know. There's a lot of baby spiders in there. Like, dang. It's like a bunch. And then he showed that. And also one of the spiders was so cute. Oh man, you're right. I don't want to play the film, but I want to find that spider. That spider deserves some screen time. Or, you know, to share it. See it. Yeah. Woo! When the spiders came out, it was all over the place. Hold on. There it is. Oh, it's so cute. I'm sorry, this is weird, but yo, look at that little spider. Look at your baby with the little cute eyes. Oh, I'm sure it's not as pretty when it grows up, but I do like Rocket from Sucker Punch. She was cool, but yeah. Yeah, the baby thing was unexpected. Haha, Harmadra. So yeah, I want to say this was good because The character said that she was a mother, and seeing that she's human spider, like a mermaid, I guess you call it arachnomade. You actually saw that she had babies, a lot of children. Like, she wasn't joking. Now, spiders have, I think it was the wolf spider. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it. But the wolf spider, the mother, you know how the Black Widow eats the male after they mate because she needs energy for the babies. But I think it's the wolf spider. The female actually finds a little, like a tube or digs a hole or whatever, lays the eggs, and when they hatch, the eggs are born. When the babies come up, they eat the mother. That's their first meal. So female wolf spiders, Google it. I'm not sure if it's a wolf spider, but there is a spider where the female sacrifices herself for her babies to eat her, for them to live. And that's their first meal, is their mother. So seeing this character being so resentful for what happened to her world, and she needs to exact revenge on the people by taking their children and killing her to feed her children, is desperate. It's understandable, but it's not justifiable. And I'm saying that because that's what makes her the villain. And Nemesis is clear that this isn't the way, that this vengeance isn't the way, because she's exacting more terror that was exacted on her. And that's not the answer. And we go back to resistance. Now, in Gaza, there's a lot of resistance. It's not just Hamas. Hamas is advertised. Why? Because Hamas is started and funded by the Israeli government. So Hamas fighting for the people there and not getting aid from Israel anymore to do whatever is why Israel is also advertising Hamas the most, because they want to destroy them. But there's other resistance groups that's out there, and actually Hamas isn't as horrible as being advertised. I think shooting civilians and kidnapping and abducting civilians is bad. That's bad. That's wrong. I'm not advocating for them either. There's a certain ways to fight to defend yourselves, and Rebel Moon is showing exactly that, because there's a lot of resistance groups in Gaza that are fighting to save themselves and save the Palestinian people. And they're just outgunned, but they're holding their grounds, and they're holding their grounds with flip-flops. And that is real life. Now, what is wrong is when you resist on innocence. You're supposed to resist only against militias and violent factions at you, not innocent people. See, that's the difference. See, when you're fighting to save yourself, you need not go turn to the genocidal violent actions as the occupiers and as the oppressors are doing. And that's a key element that Nemesis is saying to this villain here, Parmarja. She's saying that this is not the way. Exacting evil that has been done to you onto other people is not the answer. That's why Nemesis has to take out this mother who, her children are innocent. Look at these baby spiders. Look at it. Look at that. You know, let's name this one. Let's name this little cute spider Monica. Actually, no, not Monica. Let's name her Rachel. Rachel. So Rachel right here is looking at her mama, heartbroken that her mother is dying. And she's going to have to live with that, and the rest of her brothers and sisters too. That's horrible, but her mother was in the wrong. And that's what makes you good and bad. When you do bad things, however justified you think or may be, doing bad things is wrong and makes you the villain. And then Nemesis exacts justice on her. But because she was a mother, she didn't celebrate it, because it's still a loss, because the mother went to the dark side, so to speak, to do evil, and had to face the consequences against someone who's upholding justice. And that's the tragedy there, when good people are forced to do bad things. Fast forward to the beginning of this movie. The son was forced to kill his father. That was wrong. The son killed his father. That's bad. There's no way of doing that good. He did it in hopes that his mother and sisters would be saved. And it didn't save him. He was still slave captured to be thrown into the military. So he did a bad thing. So now you understand why that soldier defected to help the villagers, because he had to redeem himself. He had to fight back at a time when he should have back then. Question is, would he have been able to? If he took the hammer and hit the enemy, would he and his family lived? Because after hitting the boss guy, sure, he may have killed him, but all the soldiers and all those evil priests would have killed him and his family right then and there. So it's the guy was forced to do something wrong, just like Harmadra was, but Harmadra was extra wrong because she has a choice to not do this. She's just desperate. So Rebel Moon is really cool and layered, because this extra storytelling and introducing Nemesis a little bit more in depth was good, and adding this element to the villain is even more beautiful, because then you see that there's layers. Everything's difficult and things are not easy. Some villains are clear-cut villains, and some are villains because they had to be, because they felt they had no choice, and that's a tragedy right there. And it's really cool that they showed this. And then we also see in the Gladiator Zone more action in the Gladiator, and that's just a brutal, violent, horrible place as well. And there's that. So that was amazing to see. And what another thing I liked about Rebel Moon is that they had more songs and more singing, and that felt the Lord of the Rings kind of thing. Do you remember when Pippin in Return of the King was singing his song at Gondor, and before he sent the steward of Gondor sent one of his sons out to face the orcs? Pippin's wasn't Merry. I mix up the two, but the one in the throne room where the guy was eating grapes all gross, that song sounded familiar to what they were singing here, and it was just beautiful. And I think it's great because then that just I find Snyder is a guy who likes songs, because in Snyder Cut you heard a lot of songs. In Watchmen you heard a lot of songs. So it's really cool hearing all this original music, because then if you are building a world, building a culture, that culture has songs as well as food, as well as certain ways they dress, as well as they have certain functions and all these kind of things that they do. So it's really cool that he's putting a lot of stuff in there for us to enjoy. And the songs are beautiful too. And when they're sung, it's very, very nice. So when we got to number 2, I was impressed at how much there wasn't changed as much. Number 1, compared to the PG-13 cut, was completely different. And it felt more. And number 2 didn't feel as different from the theatrical cut one, but it still gave us more, which is great. Because in part 2, I liked it because I felt like they took time. Seeing that Snyder didn't need to change that one as much was very interesting. I feel like Snyder needs to tell a lot of story in the beginning, and you need to give him time to do so for the world building. And some directors are like that, and I like that they need time to tell the story, but they're not wasting time either. So my 2 gripes with the movie is still, I feel like when Korra was talking to the general to get the general on their side, I felt like that scene, I don't know, I just didn't like how it was written. I felt it was a little too easy to convince him to go to whatever side to join them, because she said, do it for vengeance, when after the scene we just saw with Nemesis said vengeance isn't the way, and then apparently it's the way for the general. So that was kind of weird, sloppy narrative for me. I didn't like that. But those are my two main gripes with it. Oh, also, wait, let me see. Where is it? This crazy scene here. Was it at this point or was it after? Oh, also, one thing I did like about the thing is we got more Jimmy narrative in between. He uses vengeance to bait him. Huh, I can see that. So Jimmy here with the fireflies is just beautiful, and I like how they imitated his light, that they could change the light, whatever these firefly bugs were. And I love that we got Jimmy's narrative throughout the whole thing, because he was like telling the story in between spots as a progression, and to kind of give you that storybook narration. And that's what brought the fantasy element, because what I like about Rebel Moon and fantasy stories like Rebel Moon is using Arthurian or period samurai kind of that era mixed in with the future, because we saw people with a lot of knight's garb, a lot of assassin guard, and I like that. That's cool. That brings this little folklore element to it, which is cool. And this is something we see in Krull, that old movie. And Flash Gordon used a little bit of it, but I think they also tried to be a little bit too disco in the future too. What's another one that kind of does it too? Final Fantasy games. Those games do it a lot, which is really cool. And the other thing I like was in part 2. Let me find it and go on it again. Let's see. There you go. Another comment. I'll give you that. The recruitment for Titus is the only one that seemed a bit rushed. Could have done a bit more, perhaps, in trying to convince him. Yeah, I think they could have. When she's trying to convince him after they bathed him, I just felt it was still forced. But I like how they had to find him, because they asked, a gladiator. It was like, where is this guy? Where is he? Oh, he's over there. He's drunk. Like, oh, he's there drunk. In the theatrical one, they were just walking around. I was like, oh, there he is. Like, there was no effort. There's no establishment of what's going on there. And they set it up really nicely in this. Like, there's more breathing room. This is why I think everything we saw with Nemesis should have been in the theatrical cut. And the beginning stuff with Titus should have been in the theatrical cut. And I think the theatrical cut would have hit a lot smoother, because I felt like they gave more affection to Tarak, and Nemesis and Titus was a little bit rushed. In this, I was disappointed in the director's cut that convincing scene was a little bit rushed, or the same, or I don't know, it didn't fit with me. But those are my two gripes with the movie, really. Two more things I want to talk about it. Here's the scene I wanted to show with Lex. So yeah, there you go. It wasn't Cole, because that is stupid. These are all the bodies. This is such a Mortal Kombat scene, like you'd see in the stage where in Mortal Kombat you see all these bodies in the background and all that stuff. So them shoveling bodies in, that was really intense. Crying the tears, those are like beautiful scenes. Oh my gosh, wow. Snyder is like next level. I like seeing him unleashed, it's so good. And then the fact that they use the brain to talk to the boss, just like I showed you kind of in Lex. I was kind of doing it quick. I didn't want to make it like we're watching Lex all over again. But that was really cool. And now the betrayal part, where is that scene? All right, just for context, just have some up there. So I like that we saw more of the king, and we got more backstory with Korra in this, and it was so nice to see that. I should have screen captured these. I don't know, it doesn't let me, but this is what we're doing. So this scene was still so powerful, and I'm glad that a lot of this was in the PG-13 ones, because this scene is pivotal, because we not only see how the king and queen and princess were assassinated, we saw how all the politicians around them witnessed the slaughter of the king and queen and Princess Issa. And as soon as the guy in charge said, "What have you done? How could you kill him?" And everyone's like, "How could you do this?" Everyone witnessed the truth. Everyone witnessed the truth. Yet, as soon as the politician in power lies, and all the people in on it lie along with him, that's still to this day so powerful to me, because we're seeing Benjamin Netanyahu, and you get mad at me if I'm getting political. This is all freaking truth. This guy has been found out. His government has been found out for doing genocide, ethnic cleansing, breaking international law. And he comes to Congress, where a bunch of Congress people and people who are not Congress are there just to fill in the seats, are applauding every single freaking lie that has been debunked before he gave us lies, and he gave us new lies, and everyone's just cheering along with it. So you see in Rebel Moon the crime, the truth happening right then and there, that she was ordered to kill them, and then all of a sudden everyone acted like she was behind the whole thing when everyone else was stabbing the king and queen, and they just ran with the lie. Oh my gosh, that's real life. That happens. It goes that far. People are that sick to sell a lie at the expense of human life being slaughtered, just so they can maintain power and blame someone as a scapegoat. So you we see what's going on. So Rebel Moon shows, which side are you on? Really? Are you on Korra and the villagers? Are you on the king and queen side? Or are you on this new faction in power? And it was crazy. Also, who's the people? Oh man, these shots are great. Yes, all right, look at these people in their masks. All right, I'm gonna bring up something I think. Oh, my mic cuts away from time to time. I am sorry. I'll try and get better. How's this now? I wonder why it's doing that. That's weird. Hopefully it's not too bad. Let me remove this. Yeah, I have it noise canceling because the AC is too loud. Whoa. CEO Susan just died? Damn. That's crazy. Huh. All right, good. I guess when I burped, I was like staying away from it. I was all shy and all that. All right. I'm wondering where Snyder got this idea from. Oh no, cancer's horrible. May she find peace. Oh, la, la, la. So what I'm looking for is there's this. Maybe you guys know. You know, let me know. There's this character in Guilty Gear, the fighting anime video game. There's a character with a hood, and they have an eye design on it. There it is. What's the name of this character? Venom. Oh, wow. His name is Venom. All right. Let's see. Guilty Gear. Venom. Okay. So, look at this hood here in this world that Zack Snyder created. See that? The eye, it's a hood with this, eye that you see all the crazy cultish type of crap. And it's an eye of power, Illuminati, kind of all that stuff. And it's pivotal with the triangles of the villains. So it's pretty obvious that oh dang, that's horrible. I didn't know that. Again, another horrible thing. Every day I'm seeing mothers and fathers bury their children. It's something no parent should have to do. So yeah, look at that mask. See the eye here, you've seen it before. They also have it with where they put on the other people. So like the people they capture with Titus's flashback. So here's the character Venom from Guilty Gear. And look at the eye sign and his mask garb. So I guess it's just going to be all that kind of stuff right there. Ha ha ha. All right. Oh, I'm going to have to be part of the replay crew, Kojay. I got work tomorrow. Take care, brother. Have a great rest of the week. Thank you, man. I am going a little bit later than expected. Have a good night, bro. Everyone, much love to South Cali guy. Hold on. Let me see if I get a... Well, you don't have to hold on. If you got to go, you got to go. Hold on. I want to put on my channel the picture we took together. It should be under my media here. Where is it? I share a lot. That was fast. All right. I had the pleasure. Bam. Look at this. Hey. All right. Oh, man. It was so blessed to see you, dog. I got to see you for Rebel Moon Part 2. When it was at the Egyptian Theater, but it was great to see you and Hayden. Oh man, it's so cool. Oh man, that's good times, good memories. I couldn't stay and hang out and chop up with whoever else was there because a buddy had work. And, that night he's got graveyard, so had to go on back. But yo, it was a blessing to see you, man, and experience Rebel Moon together. Such great times. Oh, I'm glad you agree, man. Have a beautiful night, South Cali guy. Thank you for cruising by and kicking it with me while I just talk Rebel Moon stuff. And yeah, so that's the thing I want to say is it's interesting how they show the loyalty of political figures so violently, which is what happens in real life. And it's crazy. And it's something hey, good night, brother. Take care too. It's something I hope we can take a lot from, not just Zack Snyder, but any other movie too that tackles this stuff. But also, one more thing is let's see this. Where is it? All right, I don't have to show the picture. I can't find where it is. I forgot where it is. But yo, they did tentacle porn. And it looked like a creature, so I call it bestiality with the villain. And it looked like he was getting screwed by the creature. He was getting hentai tentacle porned by the animal. And it was like some kind of squid thing, putting stuff in him. It's like, damn, yo, only Snyder. Snyder has no chill, you know? No, it can't be early on. When was it? When was the tentacle porn scene? I kind of blocked it out of my mind, apparently. I think it's after they got the guy with information. Because they were tracking them down. Ah, yeah. They were tracking them down. All right, here we go. Without being graphic, here's that graphic scene. Yo, so, yeah, Snyder had tentacle porn. So, yeah, and it was doing this dude. It was going into him and all that, went through the mouth. My buddy asked me, he's like, what's going on? And it's like, yo, he's getting fucked. And, sorry for cursing again. And I was like, this is bestiality, dude. So Snyder has no chill. So we saw a lot of booty. We saw a lot of boobies in this movie. No pickles and no lower lips. That's kind of cool. Because, you know, you want Japanese people to see this. And they're very specific on what they can't have, even nudity-wise. So I think Snyder going hentai. Like, when was the last time you saw a hentai in live action? It was first for me. I was like, wow, dude, he did tentacle porn and on the dude. That's like original, as far as I know. I don't know. I've only seen like 2 hentai my whole life, maybe 3. I can't remember. But it's like, wow. It's like, yo, and also he was putting stuff in him and he was smoking it out. That's trippy. Like, dang, this guy's into some crazy stuff. Now I want to tell you something. This is super accurate as hell. Life story. So, once upon a long time ago, your boy Kojay supported his buddy's punk band. And they were doing a festival, like a mini punk festival at this bar. Now, this bar was really cool because it had 2 sections, 2 levels. You had the bar that you went in here, and there's the drinks and all that. And this other section with the stage and tables, the band performs, they put the tables around, everyone jumps around, listens to music. Then you go upstairs. The second floor, there's this big area where they had booths set up to sell merch for the bands, and other artists had a booth to sell their art. And then there was a dominatrix booth for their business. And then you go to this next room, and there was another room where another group was doing music too, which is weird. So you would have a band do a set, and while their set is ending up, the other band would start up here, and then while they were ending, another new band would start here. So you just travel before, up and down, and in between you'd cross these booths so you could buy merch. So I was a good homie, and I had a great time because I got free coverage to see the show. I was at the booth to sell my friends merch for their album. It was their album, their CDs. We sold CDs back in the day. Do I have CDs around here? I probably do somewhere. Anyways, so I was selling my friends CDs and T-shirts and buttons and patches to put on your jacket because it's punk rock. So it's all about accessorizing, right? And rocking what you love. So next to me was the dominatrix booth. I was like, you don't see that every day. It's weird. It looked like a bunch of different kind of whips for different kinds of Indiana Joneses in different multi dimensions. I thought so. I was like, wow, you don't see that every day. It's kind of weird. So in my downtime, I was bored, so I just walked over. I was talking with the guy because I was also talking to this other artist who what this other artist did for his booth. What this guy he picks up pieces of wood and broken pieces of TVs and he turns it into art. He steel wields them together or he paints over it to create like a face of Predator or something like that, and you know, the alien. And it was really cool seeing that guy's work, and he was such a loving guy too. He had so much good positive outlooks on the world, peace and love. He's in this little metal scene. It's really cool. God bless his heart. Hope he's good wherever he is. So anyways, back to the dominatrix booth. I asked the guy, I was like, man, you guys have good business? I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking not a lot of people do this. But he said, actually, they get good, consistent business. I was like, well, who is your highest clientele? So the guy, he told me, he said, well, the highest clientele that they get at the dominatrix booths to be like chained and whipped and all this kind of crazy shit. He said it's judges, it's police officers, and it's lawyers. I was like, whoa, that's your highest clientele? He's like, yeah, because they give us a lot of money and they always come back. And there's regulars and they even have club membership. I was like, what? Why? And he said, what's sexy for these people is because they are in positions of power over other people, that when they come to these dominatrix things where they're tied up and beaten or whatever the fuck they do, it's a role reversal. Because then they're in a situation where they relinquish power and someone else has power over them. Because in their daily life and career, they have power over people. So the role reversal is a little break and vacation for them. I was like, that makes Gotham City type of sense. I was like, whoa. So Zack Snyder having this tyrannical guy who controls the fate of so many people because he imposes the military might at his disposal on innocent people to slaughter and kill them. In his spare time, he gets high as hell and he gets effed by this tentacle monster with all these penises and things to F him up and tie him up and choke him. Again, this is realistic to my understanding of whatever that world is. And this guy's into that kind of sick, twisted stuff because this guy is a sick, twisted person. Now, people, you're into that stuff, makes you happy, you know, you do you, or you have something else do you, whatever. Just don't hurt people, you know, everything consenting adults, yeah? Have your safe words and whatever the hell. But yeah, this guy, really a class act worked of a villain. Woo! And so yeah, that's my little thing there where I'm like, hey, you know, that's very believable to me. So what's crazy is you have this world and you have this military force that's imposing their might on a lot of innocent people in a huge galaxy and galaxies and systems. You see this also going on in real life. You see our government funding an actual apartheid state that's carrying out genocide. And that is not an opinion. That is not a hot take. That is factual. It's just, unfortunately, our country is run by another country. And they're establishing some other mother world at our expense. And I don't like that. And you should be able to watch this stuff, see how horrible it is to attack civilians. They're making tunnels as self-defense. Those tunnels you see in Rebel Moon are the ones that the resistance fighters in Gaza are doing to fight back tanks and such. It's not some crazy system that is built by Israel. That's where the innocent civilians were. That's where the resistance are not using, because those are mapped out. Why would they do that? Yo, Illblurred-matic, yo, guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, like and subscribe to Illblurred-matic. He and the Goddess with the Pen do these great shows, and they cover fantastic stuff. One of the best interview experiences I've ever had with someone interviewing me was Ilblurmatic, and it was such an dude. This guy's awesome. Like and subscribe to Ilblurmatic if you haven't already. Link to his channel is in my collection of channels on my channel, so you should be able to find him right well. Or click his icon here in the live chat. Live chat will be on replay, and give him a subscription. This guy's awesome. Hope you're doing good, man. I don't know where you are, but it's kind of late, but hope you're doing great. And Integrity says, you do you, or you have someone else do you. Hey, I'm making quotes and burps tonight. Ilblurmatic says, art intimidates. Intimidates. I'm dyslexic as hell sometimes. It imitates. Imitates reality. A lot of movies loosely based on it. Star Wars based Jedi and Sith, typical Republican and Democrats. Interesting. I like that. You know, you do see the red and blue lightsabers going at it. You know what I'm saying? That is kind of funny. Oh, definitely. No, you do great content, man. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, content creation is not easy. I'm finding that out the hard way as I'm trying to bring the production level up here. So a lot of people do it and stick with it and don't give up and continue to give you that gift of sincerity. Something I'm taking my time to give you guys. I don't know if I'm doing any good or being entertaining, but I'm trying. I got a lot of things to say, and I'm very thankful for you guys being here. I'm thankful for other content creators doing awesome work like Ilblurmatic. So he's got my vote of approval to like and subscribe to his stuff. Definitely do that. He's got great stuff. I'm excited for the more coming our way from Ilblurmatic. And yeah, so this movie, Rebel Moon, beautiful, wonderful. It's meant to be rated R. I understand the PG-13 one is totally different, and it is literally for rating. Now, the difference with most movies, I feel, is that when you get a theatrical version, sometimes it's cut down for time. Sometimes it's cut down. Most of the time, it's cut down for time. Sometimes it's cut down for tone. Another times, it's cut down for narrative. Rebel Moon PG-13 cuts, I feel, is cut down for all three. And when you get to the mature levels, this movie really, these two movies really feel like a different experience where it is what you got cut down from all three in one. And it's a completely different movie experience. It's the same overall template of the 7 samurai, gotta protect the village, find warriors, come here, train the village, get your weapons ready to defend the village, and then they come and attack you. Now, I don't know if you know this, but in karate, how that martial art started, roughly, is that it started with villagers. Japanese villagers at a time, once upon a time, were being attacked by warlords who wore wooden armor. Now, what the Japanese villagers needed to do at the time was find a way to defend themselves. So what they did is they took what little they knew of Chinese Kung Fu. Kung Fu was established 525 years before Jesus Christ was born. Peace be upon him. So these islanders in Japan, they took what little they knew of Kung Fu and they elaborated on it and practiced on their own. And they really needed to be strong to fight back the invaders, but they had no weapons. So what did they do? They did two things. On top of training in Kung Fu that turned in karate, they trained to break boards. They trained to break boards because the enemies with their wooden armor, if you could break through the armor, you would get to the enemy and break him. So the tradition of practicing board breaking came from those villagers, in which established and founded karate. Now the weapons of karate how they used the bow staff and spear was from the rakes that they would do in gardening. And nunchucks came from karate. Now, what nunchucks are meant to do is you get all the rice and the grains and you line them up in a bag or whatever, and you would hit them with the nunchucks, right? Boom, or boom, 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 boom. And it would get all the dirt and the crap out, and then you could, get all the sticks and the stones and separate that from your grain and your crop. So I guess what they did is like, hey, we could use this on someone too. And then nunchucks turned into a weapon. Obviously, there's more sophisticated ways to separate your crops from all the dirt and stuff. But that's why the nunchuck is originally a farming tool. I personally like nunchucks because, it trains you on where your arm should be in blocking. And it's really great. So, again, villagers training themselves to fight a military force, going out to wipe them out, control them, dictate them, and kill them if they don't get their way. These are things that happen in real life and have happened in history and are happening today. A lot of my content on my channel, a lot of you know, and if you don't know, I'm letting you know, I am promoting a free Palestine because what's going on in that region of the world is wrong. It's illegal, and for some reason, it's being carried out and okay from our government because our government is behind it, is behind on funding it. And that's a really, really dark reality. It's crazy when you look at what these horrible empires do, like the Empire in Star Wars, and you realize that, oh, shoot, our government is being the Empire in Star Wars to other people in other parts of the world. You have Israel attacking Iran, and then our government says, oh, Iran, don't escalate. Oh my gosh. But who attacked who? Shouldn't Iran have the right to defend themselves? See, if Iran defends themselves, they'll wipe out Israel, and America can't have that because America gets a lot of its money from Israel, and Israel gets a lot of its money from the taxpayers of the American people. See, we give all our money, sacrifice all our hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. And if you live in California like me, you know it's even more with taxes, with state taxes and all that. All our taxes go to another country, and a little bit of that, by the millions and billions of dollars, millions actually, go to politicians to maintain that communication and exchange. The mother world is right here. Yay, Harry's, what's up? Another great guy. Yo, yeah. And I can do some nunchucks for you guys if you want. I'll put it to a vote. If y'all want to see me do some nunchuck, I forgot one of my practice ones, so I'll do the real ones too. Or then I'll show off to you again. But anyways, what you see in Rebel Moon and what's going on in the world, especially chucks. All right, well, I'll do some chucks again, but this time I'll do my real ones, not the foam ones, unless I can find the foam ones. Last time, yo, Integrity, you saw it, the foam ones flipped out my hands and hit the window. Oh my god, thank god it was the foam ones. Anyways, what I'm saying is like the chucks. But seriously, ladies and gentlemen, what gore and violence you saw that this government in Rebel Moon did isn't far-fetched. So, before I do some chucking, I do want to say I'm going to start looking into it. I was going to go into more Israeli-Palestine stuff, but seeing as how things happened with what I got of the news 20 minutes before I went live, is that Israel bombed another civilian site while they were praying and killed around 100 to 120 civilians brutally. Now, we see Rebel Moon. We see how disgusting human bodies get blown up, torn to pieces, mutilated by this military power. That is something that happens in real life. Unfortunately, carpet bombing. I've gone over in detail on my channel before, but I'll remind you guys, there's a bomb called its nickname is a ninja bomb, but it's a hell driver. Okay, I gotta find it out now. Let's see this. What is this bomb called? It's a Hellfire missile. Yeah, Hellfire missile. Let me give you guys a visual. Here we go. No, this one's better. Oh, this is a video. Okay. Another video? No. Man, lots of videos. I just want a picture. Picture. Wow, why is it so huge? Oh my god, so many ads. Wow, so many ads. This is like a mini game, yo. I have to cut off. How many X's do I have to hit just to see this picture? Oh my gosh. Wow. All right, here we go. Oh wait, sorry, more ad. You know, let me just save this picture. Save image as. Piss me off. Is it like a bomb equivalent to incinerating grain? No. Here we go. All right, so here we go. 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 Here we go now. Nope, not that one. What the heck? Oh. I just want to share. Oh, here we go. I was on the wrong thing. All right, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a ninja bomb or hellfire missile. What this does, it does not explode. What this bomb does, as you can see the top part here, this is where it has a guider. Now, or like a drone. Now, what you see with this bomb, like you saw in BVS, how they were navigating the bomb and piloting it, you can do that with this. But just before impact, this bomb has 6 blades that shoot out, and upon impact, when it hits its target, these blades shoot out. Now, one of the reasons your boy Kojay almost got canceled on Instagram a few days ago, well, I'll go into detail with that in the next episode, next podcast. Yeah, the blade thingy. Yep, it shreds. So, one of the things I got in trouble on Instagram was I found footage of shooting one of these things in a civilian area did, because what happened is it was an American-made bomb we gave to Israel, and either their fighter jets or our fighter jets, because Biden did send some of our pilots over there to bomb these civilians, because Aaron Bushnell, who set himself on fire in protest to free Palestine, he knew their plans and what was going on, and he could stand for it, that he killed himself in protest. A lot of people, I'm still bothered by that. And a lot of people are just, brushing it under the rug, just like assassination attempt on a president, no big deal. These are dark times, people. So this ninja bomb was shot into a civilian populated area. No Hamas, no other targets other than innocent men, women, and children. And the site after the bomb hit and the blades went around cutting and killing and dismembering people was recorded. And I shared that. I posted it. I still have the footage somewhere. I might share it again when I can, if it's important. But after seeing that, I saw how cruel political sides can be. Taking political sides of governments and political leaders that are okay with that. And you know what these companies get to do? Because there's a huge market. Just watch that. Sorry, there's a movie of the arms deals. It's got that Jonah actor. I forgot the name of it. But of the whole arms deal race or business. What happens is when you do this on real civilian targets, this actually works as a testing ground to sell and make more of that stuff. It's disgusting. And there was evidence of targeting innocent civilians. That's why they took it down. Because I've seen worse stuff also. Social media gets super picky. Almost get in trouble. Black Samurai picture that posted of the family. Yeah. Yes, that's the movie War Dogs. Thank you. Yeah, politics over people is effed up. And that's one of the things I'm doing on my channel, which is send the message that it's wrong to kill innocent men, women, and children. It's wrong to rape people. No one should have that right. And 47% of the people in Israel has voted that it's okay to rape your people and detainees and your enemies. 47%. So that means there's 43% Israelis I like. So it's just crazy. Now I bring that up because we're seeing graphic violence in this sci-fi flick showing the cruelty of governments in power that benefit off of slaughtering innocent men, women, and children. That is the most important theme to keep in mind when watching Rebel Moon, and that is super, super powerful. Whether you like the movie or not, you have to respect the fact that they're pointing out that truth and why it's important to resist. I'm going to share some clips and then we'll do some nunchucks and we'll call it a show. But it is real life that we're seeing right now, and it is not pretty, it is not comfortable. Now, warning time. Warning time. We're going to see some graphic stuff. Maybe hard. No, we'll save it for later, because that's a whole conversation going into it. But we'll just keep it Rebel Moon, because anything else I have to get into is going to be a whole nother chapter, and that's going to be the next episode of Kojay's Corner I'm going to do. So it is with my biggest hope that when you see such movies in fiction and violence, that you remember that the horrors of the violence itself, the magnitude of it, isn't something to enjoy like a comedy. It isn't something to take lightly. It is something to recognize that these are stakes of the story. It's very brutal because violence is brutal and wrong, especially on innocent people. And that is something that increases the stakes and enjoyment of the film, because you're supposed to have empathy. You're supposed to care about all the characters who are wronged, and you're supposed to not like and point out the people who are bad, taking advantage of the innocent. Movies that do that just for fun, it's always important to keep that in mind. And I appreciate that Zack Snyder and directors like him do such a graphic film and tackle and show such themes. So I'm getting super tired as I see my boys. It's going good, bro. Super tired and ready for the weekend. How about you, Blurred? Yeah, how about you guys? You good? What'd you say? Is a drill. Haha. So yeah, isn't drill. My fresca is watermelon. So yeah, I'll go more into that the Rebel Earth. I titled this video Rebel Moon and Rebel Earth. Rebel Moon is a fantasy. Rebel Earth is what we're dealing with right now. And I'll go into that in my next video. Probably tomorrow. I got time tomorrow and I want to do more content. But I want to thank you all who came through. I really appreciate you guys coming through, having fun and supporting my channel at the same time. I'm gonna give a shout out to South Cali guy came through. Sergeant Giratina's Rising Renegades. That was a name. That is a movie. That is a band. My boy Kadoko Hitomi Seiji. What's up? Who else came through? Kazakhs, who's still here kicking it. Yeah. What's up? I'm glad to see you, Kazakhs, all the time. Integrity 101, my dog. He knows all what's going on. He's like, and Tim's Talk, who swung by the sector. He didn't like the movie. He thought it was rubbish. And yeah, I disagree. But hey, it's free to have your opinion. Just as long as you're not pro-rapists, I don't have a problem with you. And who else we have? Yeah, don't be bad and hurt people. Ilbert Matic and Aries Rain/TV. Yo, you guys all came here. Have a good time. Man, Tyre just dropped a show, bro. Some support. I'm here, man. Glad to catch a live stream. Oh, I'm glad you got it too. I love catching guys' live streams too. So, I promised I'd do some nunchucking. So we'll see what's going on with that. And I bid you adieu. And with a little advertising for my next video or big show coming up. All right. And let's see. I'm gonna get my nunchucks. Oh. All right, here we go. Gotta suck in the gut, you know? All right. All right, this is for you guys. Just a little bit. All right, let's do it this way, you know? Actually, this way. Simple. Whoa. Too much stuff. I have to do it this way. All right. Oh, I could do that one. Ah. Oh, that was my favorite trick to do. It's one where you spin it. It's where you spin it. Oh, wait. How can I replicate? When the chuck goes around here, you let go. And with the rotation of it, it spins around and you catch it on the other side. I don't know. It happens real quick. But I did it perfectly then. I had to stop. Otherwise, my hands get slippery and go through the window. The neighbor's going to knock on my door again saying, "Be quiet." So I'm going to keep it flawless right there. That was good. So, fellow a checker, eh? If you remember Ninja Turtles. Hey. Oh, appreciate it. I feel actually good. So, yeah, stand up for my next episode. My next live is going to be another podcast. I'm going to talk more about Palestine because I have a lot of stuff I want to get through tonight, but this went a little bit longer than... There's always more in the tank than I thought, you know? But I appreciate you all being here. You all watching the replay. Much love. I appreciate you. So, my favorite group, Card, K-pop group, they're dropping their album on the 13th. And I have a show coming up with a watch party on Friday. We're watching Train to Busan, so I'm going to end with a little trailer for that to come through. Now, I'm also going to check out the news because this is graphic, ladies and gentlemen. This is the carnage of the last bombing on civilians that killed 100 to 120 last I checked. There's probably more news now. So do your due diligence, check out what's going on in the world, because what we do, who we vote, what we do, what we support might be causing harm. So just be aware, you know, you never know when one of your decisions might help save a life. Just having knowledge of what's going on might save a life. And that means everything. So, much love, everybody. Be kind to others. Be kind to yourself. Palestina Libre. God bless. I love you all. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. And mark your calendars for next Friday. What is it? The 16th. Watch party. Train to Busan right here. Check out the trailer, and I'll see you then. All right. Peace.
맨날 다음이라고만 하고.
아빠는 안 보고 있는 것 같으면서도 다 보고 있다, 수아야.
팀장님, 기차 타셨어요?
점심 전에 들어갈 것 같으니까.
돌았냐 이 새끼야? 현재 대전역에 군대를 배치하여